Okay, that's it. I'm declaring martial law. Okay, martial law done. Hello and welcome to the Friday week where I am not a dictator, so I will not be declaring martial law. But we are here in the studio on the Friday week on Riverside Radio, and I am joined, as always, by two stunning guests. So I'd like to welcome, first of all, let's go with Susan Kitcatt. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Richard. And do you know what? Both me and Martin just looked at each other then and sort of went, nodded as if we were both saying, yes, we are both stunning. And I don't know why we did that, but it was a beautiful moment that we shared together.
Of course, Susan introduces my guest before I get round to introducing him. Martin Dixon. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Martin J. Dixon in the house. I've never said that before. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just try something new. Go for it.
Thank you very much. Well, that's, J stands for just really good at sex is what I usually say, but that's it's before the watershed. I apologise. Don't know what just came over me.
Yeah, I will apologise to anyone who took offence at that, or anyone who happens to have experience and disagree. Let's just crack on. Okay, so how you guys been doing? Anyone had any interesting time this week?
Well,
anything interesting?
I don't think this counts as interesting, but obviously it's the if the storms don't stop us, it's the time of year when we all get out and about and do things and party and stuff. And loads of people do dry January, which to me just is like, because January is such a dull month, and then you take away alcohol and it's like, I can't cope with this. So I've decided I'm going to do sort of a backwards, a thing in reverse. I'm going to be healthy all the times unless I'm at a party. So I'm going to be healthy when I'm indoors, healthy when I'm going about my normal day-to-day things, but then I'm allowed to be as naughty as I want when I'm at a party.
Well, that's a way to go.
We will let you decide what that means, being as naughty as you like when you get to a party.
I mean, within how much I drink and how much I eat, like I'm allowed to do it. But what I'm saying is when I'm in my own home, when it's like a normal working day, I'm going to be strict with myself when I'm at home at the moment, because you've got so much time to go out and about and enjoy yourself, and it's better to do it this way than the other way.
Well, I'm currently trying to really push myself in the gym and using that as an excuse to go, okay, you know what, you can just let yourself go a tiny bit, just a bit, just a little bit.
But then this is the thing, and I'm the same as well, because you sort of think, well, if you're pushing yourself in the gym, you're sort of like, you're kind of undoing the good work you do if you just then snacking. But yeah, I'm
that's possible.
Yeah, I'm not a health expert.
Can't really relate, guys. I'm really sorry. I just
he is a rippling, like, muscular.
Well, no, I do intuitive eating, so I eat what I want whenever I want. I'm an intuitive mover, so I do what I want when I want to do it. I'm just very much like, I don't know. Health is a concept, isn't it? It's just not. It can't be proven, can't be measured, really.
Well, to be honest with you, that's what I do as well. But every now and again, as in every morning, I'm like, right, I'm going to do better. And then I see like donuts. I'm like, I'll do better tomorrow.
No better. Often people, I'll offer someone a snack at work and they'll say, I've got to be good. And I think, well, it's not a smoking gun. It's just a donut, just a cookie, just a couple of crisps.
Guys, it's the fact you compared it to a smoking gun. It's
like, I'm saying it's not a smoking gun. I'm saying
but it's the fact that's your comparison. It's like,
I think it's it's not a moral thing, I think that's my point. It's not a moral thing. It's not good. It's not bad, It's just what you fancy.
A little bit what you fancy does you good.
It is nice.
There's nothing wrong in having it if you fancy it.
Just say, just lean slightly back away from the microphones.
Both of us?
Just a tiny bit. Just
sorry.
By a centimetre or two.
Is that better?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I was being in my mind I was Mariah Carey.
I know.
I apologise.
The thing is,
you often see people talking right up close to the mic, but you just in real life
Last week I finally managed to actually record this show because for various reasons I actually can't access the systems here, and so I don't actually record the show and download it myself. But I managed to record the show last week, and I listened back to it and went, "Ooh, we are really leaning into those mics and shouting into them," and it's very sort of weird and sort of different when you hear it back and you realise, okay, that's how it's. So I'm just listening to it carefully and just going, maybe just a touch leaning back. But that said, yeah, it's all fun and games, and are you guys ready to get on with a bit of news of the week? Because we've got one hell of a lot to talk about.
I love the way I said that, yes. I think we should crack on with it.
I'm ready.
In that case,
a hell of a lot.
Let's get on with the show. Okay, we're going to kick off with Martin. Martin, who ate all the pies?
Well, so far, if we're led to believe, no one yet. So this is, we're talking about Tommy Banks, who owns a pie business, and actually, unfortunately, his pie van was stolen overnight. So I think it was something like £25,000 worth of pies.
It was
in the van, and it was stolen. And so he's posted a video, and he's kind of asking the thieves to return the pies. It's 2,500 pies, which are an awful lot of pies.
It's £10 a pie.
They're very good pies, I should hope.
Well, yeah, Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah, that's the thing. He runs an award-winning restaurant in Yorkshire, and these pies were going to go to a Christmas fair.
But he's saying, why don't we? And he was appealing to the better nature of the thieves to say, well, if we're not going to sell them, why don't you drop them off somewhere and let some people who really need them have them? So I think it's trying to make lemons out of lemonade, as it were.
Yeah, I really love that he's done that, and I think if whoever's done this thing with the van, if they do give them into like some sort of food bank or something, they can say, "Surprise!"
Oh. No, surely they couldn't say we've arrived with supplies. Supplies.
Again, it would have to be supplies.
Supplies. I wish I had a pie pun. I'm really embarrassed. I didn't prepare one.
A supply of surprise pies.
I'm sure Susan would have nicked it. She is something of a joke spy.
Well,
joke spy. Excuse me. I create my own material. Thank you for any match. But yes, I do love that he's.
You overquote one particular.
Oh yeah, all right.
Continuously. Okay, we'll let you have it.
That's that one, but the
thing is though, the pies haven't turned up yet.
Not
but
yet.
The van has.
Wow.
Maybe it was the food bank that stole the van and just nicked all the pies out. It was like, everyone, you're going to have a good pie.
It seems that the pies have gone. So the pies have gone somewhere, but we don't know where. We know where the van is. They've clearly got the pies. I think the initial suspicion was because pies are pretty difficult to shift on the black market. Let's be honest. There's not much black market for that.
There can't be much of a sell on, because I suppose that's the thing. You don't know what is in it, but.
Although it does say, the chef says something along the lines of, if someone tries to sell you one of my pies and it's not me, then get in touch. So I do think there's a chance on the surface of it. It seems but I actually think underneath this very nice message of give the pies away, there's a sting operation here. He's trying to find these pie thieves, the pie bandits, red-handed.
Yeah.
Which I respect. I get it.
And I mean, as it's our last show before Christmas, I feel entitled to drop this one in. He could have said, "Last Christmas I baked you my tart." And the very next day you gave it away, and now you're stealing my pies,
Okay, I'll allow that.
Do you know what I don't think we do enough of in this country is a sweet pie? I'm reading the flavours. There's turkey and cranberry, steak and ale, and a butternut squash pie.
In this particular case, but I think like lemon meringue pie, I love baking it because I think, I'll tell you, I love baking cakes and things, but I think you can get decent shop-bought cakes and things, but there's no point buying a lemon meringue pie. You have to bake it at home.
Yeah, I'd possibly agree with that.
That's the one thing I don't think you can really shop in.
There is also a lot you can do with a raspberry pie, although most of that is technological.
I don't know if science is ready for your experimentations with the pie.
No, that is actually quite a clever joke because a raspberry pi is a type of I think it's like a basis which you can build a computer from. It's like a very basic computer that you can then sort of build your way up and create your own sort of computer as with the Raspberry Pi as the base.
Do you feel like you had cleverer guests?
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice I went particularly quiet over that subject because I had no idea what Richard was talking about.
She's the one person who normally talks like a computer. But yeah, so
what are you saying, Richard?
They've managed to find. They've not found the pies, but they have found those bits. It does seem like I do wonder if somewhere there is a black market with a whole load of one black market, very posh restaurant.
Are you
now selling really good cheddar cheese, which gets served after the delicious pies?
Richard,
there seems to be a new thing of just nicking high-end quality food.
Richard, are you saying there's a black pudding market out there somewhere?
Yeah.
Wow, that one fell on deaf ears, didn't it?
I was considering it from all angles, and I think that's actually quite a good joke.
I have to say, my main takeaway from this is I was worried about.
You had a takeaway.
You got a takeaway.
A takeaway about the pies. A takeaway from the pies.
You've been caught.
You took all the pies.
I'm a vegetarian, so I'd only be interested in a third of the butternut squash ones. No, but I just think about the insurance, because obviously the van would be insured. Would its contents, would the pies be insured? It was really bothering me. I am curious.
Well, apparently it was a week's supply of pies for the Christmas market stall in York Christmas Market.
And these thieves haven't just stolen a van and some pies. They've stolen Christmas.
They've stolen Christmas, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, what they've done is they've stolen the Christmas that was, prepared.
The Christmas
and
pies.
They now have to work out what they're going to do next.
They could donate Christmas. That's the hope.
Donate Christmas. Yes.
A bit of Christmas to those a bit less fortunate. Although, argue if you're stealing a van full of pies, you're not super fortunate.
You know what? Again, I'm going to say, because it's our sort of Christmas show, it's the last one we're doing before Christmas.
It is.
These people really, really should behave them elves.
You've had it actually pretty good. You were on a bit of a run, and now you just sent it all back home.
I was impressed. I was impressed by that.
Martin was impressed. Thank you, Martin.
But yes, this is thieves who have stolen 2,500 pies, £25,000 worth of pies, which were destined for a York Christmas market stall. You've already mentioned that they were steak and ale pies, turkey and cranberry pies, and the butternut squash pies. I think the steak and ale are the ones I might go with. I don't think the others interest me at all.
Butternut squash does need something else with it. I don't know if they.
There's probably that's the main. They probably have something else in there.
It's just they wanted it to be vegan. They couldn't add, but a bit of feta would have just tipped that over for me.
I mean, Apart from the vegan pies, this is possibly the most Yorkshire crime I think I've ever seen. I think the only thing that would make it more Yorkshire is if they left the vegan pies behind. Or possibly if it turns out the criminals are in fact a gang of whippets wearing flat caps.
But do you know something I nearly thought we could have spoken about on today's show is that farmers are calling for us to not call oat milk because they're saying you shouldn't call milk. We should call it oat juice or oat drink, and it's like, and there was a video of, should we say, someone. A politician who I think's given a little bit too much airtime, kicking off in a hotel room because he was offered semi-skimmed milk, which he didn't like, oat milk, I think, which he didn't like, and something else. And he was saying, why does even milk have to be woke? And it's like, and left wing, and it's like, oh God, you're upset about milk now,
To be honest, I'm left wing and I enjoy full fat milk.
No, not according to this guy. You can't. You're not left wing enough if you enjoy full fat milk.
I am slightly surprised to hear about him crying over
spilt milk.
Unspilt milk. But yes, this is the news that pies have been stolen, and so we don't know who ate all the pies, but we will be back as soon as we can with the answer to that one in the new year. I mean, we may have an answer in the new year. We may not. Let's move on. So Susan, we're going to stick with the food thing. Who spent all weekend in the supermarket stuffing their face with meat?
Well, I've got to say this story sits. I don't see it as the most happiest story we've ever read, but So let's basically the fun part is that it was a bear that had stormed a Japanese supermarket. And
such a brilliant phrase. I would point out that was not in any of the articles that I've seen about it storming, but it does kind of describe it, and I love the description of the bear storming it.
That's the thing is, and it sort of talk about a bear rampaging, and it's kind of like, okay,
a 3-day standoff.
Yeah, it took 3 days, and there was a 47-year-old who had to go to hospital. He suffered facial injuries, and apparently he's fine, but I had got facial injuries. And this is where one of the details that I like was the bear apparently he'd eaten a lot of meat, which I suppose it would. But I want to think of him as he's like a really cute, like Winnie the Pooh, Paddington type bear, and he would just raided like the marmalade and the honey and that sort of stuff.
Did you see the way they got them out?
Well, that's the thing is this is why I don't think it's a happy one, because they did catch him and it didn't end well for the bear. But their trap they didn't put meat in the trap, which maybe they should have done. They put honey and bread and apples, which to me is like, that's more the sort of thing I'd want a bear to go to, because I want it to be a stereotypical cuddly bear.
Basically, what they did was they spoke to negotiate a piglet who managed who made some suggestions, but also said, could you just throw some apples in there, just because he doesn't get enough fruit.
Yes.
I did see somewhere actually I saw somewhere that it was about a metre tall or something. I might be making that up. It doesn't sound like a big, terrifying
big, does it?
No. So this is where I don't like that it was captured and then exterminated. But anyway,
it was sent to a farm to go running free, where it could eat as much honey as it liked.
I did think, because they didn't. They just say they did popped it to sleep before it went to the big bee farm in the sky. So I mean, I don't know. I think they were trying to be humane as they could. I suppose it's one of these things. Once the bear crosses that line, for everyone's safety, I guess.
And I suppose they're apparently also saying that the bear population in Japan is going up. So I suppose that they get more and more of these. But you don't often hear about these attacks. Then they say, "Oh no, we get loads of them." It's like, they're never in the news. No, we just keep it really quiet, and One of the reasons they give for the increased bear attacks, which I just think is bizarre. They said this is because people are having more
less
of them
children.
are escaping from zoos.
No, because the people are having less children, and the sounds of children keeps the bear away.
That's insane.
I don't know. It felt a little bit judgmental.
So in that case, then basically getting the bear to leave the supermarket would have been as easy as someone going.
It feels like a very judgmental Japanese grandparents are being like, well, if you guys, parents, being like, well, if you guys gave us grandkids, this wouldn't be happening.
Like so much pressure on children, on kids, people, not kids, people my age. Like, well, if you just gave us children, then there wouldn't be all the bear attacks.
Well, the thing is, it's easy to say that.
It's all these people, these gay people who aren't having enough children. It brings gay bears. It does feel like a sort of left, sort of right-wing sort of sloganism coming in here. They're causing the weather. Like it's definitely been things like that in the past, which have been.
Although actually, it's great a little list of ingredients for me when I next go to the gay bar. If I take my apples, my honey, and some bread.
Yeah, but have you ever?
How many people can you get in the crowd?
Yeah, but Martin, have you ever been to a gay bear?
I don't imagine I'm eating much bread at the club. I shouldn't think.
In the club.
Honey could be
gonna offer this. No, I shouldn't know. The lyrics to a song came to my head. So I really shouldn't have.
There's a whole list of jokes that are just lined up in front of us now, and we're just ticking them off one by one, going no, shouldn't say that one, can't say that one, shouldn't say that one, can't say that one. But
it's fun to skin a bear in Japan.
Okay,
just about works. But apparently that's not a gay song anymore. It never was, and we're not allowed to say it was a gay song. And no one here is saying it was a gay song.
Also, the first YMCA is now is closing in London. It's one of London's biggest gyms, and it's now closing and being it's gone under new management. It's going to be, I think, possibly rebuilt and repurposed.
Is it going to be an O? Old instead of young.
Yeah.
OLP. It's
like
fun to stay at the OLA. No, Old Man's Church. So OM, Old Man's Church Association.
Something else I got to note about. They when they were having this 3-day standoff with a bear in a supermarket.
So again, how do you have a standoff with a bear? What's the bear?
Know.
It's like
it was a 3-day standoff with a bear in a supermarket, and apparently they didn't know where it was. Which seems extraordinary.
Yeah.
I think the one thing when you've got a bear in a supermarket is exactly where that bear is.
Yeah, I don't know how
they
you could be
had to bring a drone in. They had a drone wandering around the supermarket trying to find the bear.
It must have been, maybe it was one of those super supermarkets. Because actually, I've definitely been lost. I remember there's a very big M&S in Camberley, and as a child, I hid in.
Other very large supermarkets are available.
Of course, there's actually right next to a Tesco, so you've got all of life is there. But it's there's a really big. They used to have those really big circular clothing racks. Do you remember as a kid? And you could hide in the middle of them if you were small enough. And I remember my mum obviously was very upset by losing me, and they closed the whole shop. Nobody was allowed in, nobody was allowed out.
It's quite dramatic losing a child, or maybe they just kept just an area where they cared more. So I think if I went missing, they would have been like, if she doesn't come back in 3 hours, we'll notify someone.
No, I was very beloved. I was very. I apologise that. So I mean, nobody sent a drone, but I don't know if drones existed back then. I could have been captured quite easily with some honey and some bread.
Honey and bread.
It's a bit like I've always said. The child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is terrifying because I know we shouldn't accept sweets from strangers, but if someone with like an actual van that's got all the merchandise around it. Who's not going to go in that?
Yeah.
You know, it's just
sort of ties, maybe.
But shops are difficult. I remember, I used to work in retail and stuff, and sometimes customers would you just think, how of society, how do we have these people inside? Because one woman sort of said to me, "Oh, excuse me, where are the checkouts? I can't find them anywhere." And it was like a straight line. I just turned around, I went, "They're over there." Like, I turn around, I can see them. You're like, why can you not? Or,
there was a line in a sitcom that I heard a while ago where someone was asking you a Danish person, so where's the nearest airport? And he said, "You'll see that airport over there. Yes, it's there."
Yes, that's pretty much it.
And they got the delivery right, so right that it took me a second. And it was only when he said, "It's that one," or something like that. It's that one. And he's like, "Oh, hang on, yeah, okay." Just the deadpan sort of way of doing that. It works. It's quite fun.
Yeah. I suppose there's a comedy somewhere in people having to deal with customers and just members of the public that just ask you the stupidest questions. You just think,
I think there are several.
But there should be another one, because honestly, there's
plenty to do. Yes, this is the story about a bear who went down to the shops and certainly gave everyone else a big surprise. He spent the weekend stuffing his face with meat before being trapped by following the obvious lure of honey, apples, and bread. Let's go back to Susan. Susan, what did Big Wonga win?
Well, I think this is. Are we back on the? We talked about this lightly last week, but it's the turnip prize, not to be confused with the Turner prize. And yeah, I think the one that won was a tax increase. It was like a sort of a piece of art that she did, which I still don't completely understand, but it's increases, which I suppose is partly where the pun is, but how the tax reference is put into this piece of art. Oh, thumbtacks. Oh, I saw them as nails or pins.
So they're pins, which are thumbtacks in the creases of a crumpled up shirt.
There we go.
So just say what this is. This is the Turnip Prize, which is the antidote to the Turner Prize. Turner Prize also happened this week. Someone won by putting a giant doily on top of a car. It was apparently art, and so this is the antidote to that, which was actually set up in 1999 in response to Tracy Emin's My Bed, where she entered an unmade bed, and that was apparently art. So the New Inn pub in Somerset tries every year to get get lots of different entries and crowns its winner. The winner of the Turnip Prize, Turnip Prize being a turnip nailed to a piece of wood. It has to be the art with the least amount of effort.
You see, I think I've got an idea for what I want to put forward next year. If it's not a huge news story, but it's already been put out there, and I'm not telling anyone what it is.
Okay, well, that's great radio.
You keep your secrets.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you any of my jokes. You might steal them.
Yes. I come on the radio to tell jokes, but I won't tell them in case someone steals my jokes.
Yes.
Excellent, well done.
Also, I've got loads of New Year's resolutions, but no one gets to know what they are.
Good. Do you know what your name would be if you were to take part? Have you got a name for yourself? Because they also everyone enters under false names, such as Wonga Woman, the person who won with the crumpled up shirt with thumbtacks in. Wonga Woman was the name of the person. That's all she did. She also said that, by the way,
it's difficult to say that. Wonga Woman. It's
Wonga
difficult.
Woman. Try saying, what did Wonga Woman win?
What did Wonga Woman win?
Yeah, you see, it's not as easy as it sounds. Actually, you said it better than I did, so I can't really throw any stones. But yeah, so you have to have a little pseudonym. There was also one of the other finalists was the Sycamore Gap, which was two halves of a sycamore seed with an arrow drawn on a piece of paper between them, and that was brought in by Mr. Burr. That's Tim Burr. You see, yeah, you
Excellent.
see. So, Mrs. Mrs. Penny Saver. I can't remember. One of the other finalists was the person who brought in a balloon called Inflation, which I think is an excellent lazy art. That's excellent.
Was it inflated itself or not?
I believe it was inflated.
I think I would call. I think my pseudonym. I would call myself. I would call myself Jane Austen. I think.
Ah, yeah, that is probably very valid. The last finalist was obviously a red flip flop with the word post office sandal written on it, and that piece of artwork was called post office sandal.
Yeah, that one took me a while to get because I was like, I could see the pattern, then it was like, oh, the scandal about, yeah, I do get that now. It took me, sometimes I suppose it's these things, you look at it and it takes you a while to get what the pun actually is.
Is this a fake art competition or is it a pun competition? It feels very...
It's sort of somewhere between the two.
Yeah.
It's somewhere between the two. It's largely a pun competition. Some of my favourite acts, winners from previous years, you've got a bowl full of jelly with a toy dog resting on top of it. That was called Collie Wobbles. You also had what else do you have? I'm going to go straight back to my favourite. My favourite one of all time is back when we had all those. You remember when we had all the Australian fires were raging across Australia, and so there was a pair of knickers with a hole burnt in the front called Bushfire Down Under, which I think that's an excellent pun. So this is run by a guy called Trevor, and I'm going to say Prideaux. He's got an AOX at the end of his name, which is very French, but he seems very. I'm going to say English country in his sort of demeanour. He also he praised Wonder Woman, saying that she clearly had what it takes to become famous in the art world, and she would go down in art history for no time at all. And also said he also claimed that there were 69 entries into this year's competition. Every year, he says, there are 69 entries. No matter how many entries there actually are, there's always 69.
Because as the great Homer Simpson says, when someone says to him, "Oh, hey, you got room 69, didn't you, Homer?" Ha 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 ha. He says, "Yeah, room numbers are funny."
Yes,
because he just wants to go and has not got the joke, and I love that about his character sometimes.
I do feel like this, as they say, is in response to Tracy Emin's My Bed, which actually has gone down in history, and not everybody, but lots of people know. I'm not particularly in the art world, and I know exactly. I can picture it now. Do you know something else? I'm not a fan of Tracy Emin, but she was a Kent-based artist, and there was actually another Kent-based artist who I followed. Billy Childish is at least his stage name, but he does music as well. I always thought it was a shame that of the two of them, she had a bigger name than he did, because he was, in my opinion, a lot more talented. I mean, it's all subjective. But I will say this, there's not many female or female modern artists or female artists that most people can name. Tracy Emin is one of them. Absolutely notoriety. I'm impressed.
There's only 2 modern artists who I could name.
But how many female artists could you name?
So there are 2 that I could name, 2 modern artists I could name, and one of them is Tracy Emin.
Who's the other?
Damien Hirst.
What about the guy who does all the spray painting?
Oh, okay.
Does he count?
Banksy, although we don't actually know the identity of Banksy, so I wouldn't...
We do now, it's me.
Okay, you've said it once, you don't need to say it again. Yes, so we can't judge their gender, whether it's Susan or possibly someone else. We can make assumptions, but they are assumptions until we know their exact identity. But
the one thing I will say is, you said, that guy that does the spray paintings. Everyone assumes, I mean, I'm moving away from the joke of it. Not this joke, obviously, but everyone assumes Banksy. We don't know. Banksy's a male.
Is it not Mr. Banksy?
No,
have I made that up? I think I'm thinking of Mr. Banks.
I think you might.
How embarrassing!
I think you may be thinking of a story that's coming up later.
Mr. Banks.
We'll come back to that one in a bit. I'm trying to remember.
Tease for later on.
I'm trying to remember which one it is.
Could be Banksy. Just saying.
Banksy. Oh. Okay.
Oh my God, that should be my pseudonym. Banksy.
That's actually quite a good.
Brilliant.
That was quite a good pun. Okay.
If you can just remember that for when you apply next year, please.
Banksy, and it's just a female banker. No, that's a banknote with a woman's face. I don't know. Okay, you can work on your own art. Sorry, I won't start telling you. I won't tell Banksy. I'm okay with you claiming to be Banksy. That's fine. But yeah, this is so. You've got tax increases. Okay, obviously, Susan, you're not telling us your artwork. Have you got any ideas what you might send in? What news story you'd like to parody in a piece of artwork?
Oh God, I mean, I'm terrible with that. I have absolutely...
You can be terrible at art for these competitions, so that doesn't really...
I'm very good at puns, that's the thing that I think I'm heartbroken at. I can't even think of what news story I would I mean, obviously we've talked about, so maybe I do I don't know,
something Trump related,
some sort of dead Winnie the Pooh, and we could do that bear story that we just.
You've got a dark mind. My God, that's like, well, sorry, kids. Sorry, I don't actually assume. I'm going to apologise for all the things that Martin's saying this evening. But I think, would you not be tempted to do something Trump related? Like maybe there's something with a pack of cards playing the game Trump, and then Trump.
Yeah, sort of.
I don't know.
Ace of Spades on top, and
Yeah, or I was thinking maybe you could do something about Kamala. Well, it's obviously it would be an old story by next year, but Kamala Harris, you could do like Kamala, and then I don't know, Harris. I don't know.
So actually, I remembered a few more of them. So you had a set of building blocks in the shape of the letters I and T. That was obviously Brexit. You had a pile of feathers with a padlock resting on them. That was lockdown.
Oh, good one.
Oh,
and a load of animal furs called fur load.
I will say, controversially, people often say that sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, but I truly believe it's puns.
Oh no! Do you know the Oscar Wilde quote? Because it's an Oscar Wilde quote when people say, sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, and the whole quote is, sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, but it's the highest form of intelligence.
Oh, okay. Good.
So people made themselves look stupid by misquoting Oscar Wilde, not getting the whole quote. So the next time someone says that to you,
I shall follow up.
Say, well, you don't quote Oscar Wilde at me. Try and make me look stupid.
Very good point.
It is always quite fun when pedants, when you get to out-pedant someone who's trying to be a pedant. When they try and sell you, oh no, it's so-and-so and I, and it's actually, no, it's so-and-so and me in this particular instance, with the accusative or whatever. If you can do that. I can remember the words for like accusative or object or like which around it, all that sort of stuff goes. But I can sometimes correct people on that one, which is quite fun. So this is the Turnip Prize, the answer to the Turner Prize.
And obviously it's important to notice that they do win a turnip,
a turnip
on a nail.
on a nail. And I will point out, as did Wonga Woman, the prize does come with VAT, vegetable added tax.
I think we should visit this. I think we should just to visit this pub and say we like it, and we've been talking about your prize on our radio show in London for the last 3 or 4 years.
We need to do this. We need to go to this, and also we need to go to the Dorset Knob Throwing Festival.
Oh yes, I know a couple of people I could take to that.
There's a whole load of sort of regular things that happen in the.
Yeah, in the
Friday
larger...
week could do sort of
a school trip. We could do a school trip.
Road trips. Maybe this is my plan for next year. We've got to do road trips
I
mean, going to we had to go to America to get to the Ig Nobel Prize, which would be quite an effort, and you've got to apply for tickets and stuff. So that might be a bit more effort, but we'll see what we can do. Yes, this is the Ig Nobel Prize held in the New Inn pub in Somerset, and that's the word, Somerset. That's fine. Also,
Somerset.
Yeah. Let's move on. So that was Susan. So let's go to Martin. Martin, which smooth move could earn you £2?
Well, this is the the wonderful story of Harry Seeger, I believe.
Yeah.
So he took a photo of his Mars bar. We all know Mars bars. There's nougat, there's caramel coated in a wavy bit of chocolate, and his Mars bar was uncharacteristically smooth. So he posted it online, and then he wrote a little letter to Mars. I mean, people were outraged by this photo, and Mars recognised the mistake, and they sent him a £2 voucher, which says he can buy him another 2 Mars bars. So it's 2 for the price of 1 there. But if I'm honest, I mean, he said that he wrote the letter because he was more interested into how that mistake can happen. So apparently the chocolate bars, they layer the caramel on top of the nougat, and they put it through, I can't remember the name of it, but it's I have seen them before. It's like a waterfall of chocolate.
It's an enrover.
Yeah, I love
enrover.
When you see the production of chocolate, it just really makes me watch it because
it's very tasty.
It's a waterfall of chocolate called an enrover.
So as it goes through, they blast it with a bit of air.
Me.
I feel like this. You know what? I just realised Susan would definitely have lost Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Susan would have been just like the first child to be lost, even if she was one of the guardians of the children going round, she would have just been straight into that pool of chocolate.
Understandably.
Yeah. I mean, although
support you.
I've got to say,
Vicar of Dibley style.
Timothy Chalamet, I often say his name wrong. Chalamet, yeah.
Chalamet.
How did I say it? Did I say it?
You said you put the M first. It's the Chalamet.
Anyway, he's a very attractive man, is all I'm saying. So I might be propelled. I might be persuaded to listen to him if he was real. I wouldn't have listened to like Gene Wilder. That would have been. I'd have just done my own thing, but I'd maybe listen to someone as attractive.
I can't remember if we actually talked about it on this show, but did you see what happened with Timothy Chalamet recently? Chalamet.
What, his lookalike competition?
Yes, he won.
If any lookalikes want to find me on,
I think unfortunately they're all New York based. I think the London one was Harry Styles, I want to say. The couple of them popped up, didn't they? These lookalike competitions. But I believe Chalamet is the only one who turned up to his own one.
But he didn't enter it. He just turned up and surprised people by sort of going, "Hi!"
Congratulated them. Yeah.
He snuck in with sort of dark. I'm doing gestures now. A hat pulled low over his eyes and dark glasses and stuff, then wandered in.
Sure giveaway of any movie stars, the hat and glasses.
Yes, as someone who walks around in hat and glasses all the time, definitely a movie star thing.
I don't know if you got, so when the Graham Norton show used to, I think, well, it was on BBC One, it used to be a bit, no, it was on Channel 4, it's on BBC One now, and it used to be a bit cheekier, and it was on later and stuff, and he used to phone up people and prank them. And one time, I think, if I get these names wrong, my apologies, but I think it was Dolly Parton he had on his show. And he phoned up a woman in Texas who was the world's best person who could sing like Dolly Parton. And he's saying, so I've got someone here who does it as well. Dolly Parton did a bit of hers. And then she says, so how do you think we compare? And the woman down the phone said, well, my accent is better than yours for sure. And and Graham Norton says, that was actually Dolly Parton. And this was like, no, it wasn't. I know when someone's tripping me and that's not the one. It's just like, this is... And all I will say is if anyone wants to YouTube the one with... what's his name? Rocket Man. Elton John. That's quite funny, is all I'll say.
Susan really bringing out the full range of her accents.
That's very impressive. Slipping around and
American and Irish, which sounded slightly similar, but I can sort of see how. Yeah, but this is the Smooth Mars Bar.
A lot of Americans think they're Irish anyway.
Yeah, that's true. The Smooth Mars Bar, which was posted, and I loved it, was posted on the Dull Men's Club Facebook group.
The Dull Men's Club.
And I just want to say, if you can attract thousands of likes with a picture of a chocolate bar that isn't quite correctly made, then it is a well-named group, the Dull Men's Chocolate
People were in outrage. People were
Facebook
commenting.
Group. And also, can I join?
Again, I know. Well, I was going to say, I would not include you in this category, but I do know a few people that should maybe join the Dull Man Facebook group.
I sort of understand that there is a certain joy to being a dull man, to being a man who's interested in just dull things, just taking an unusual level of interest in something that's just completely useless. I
can speak on behalf of women everywhere. There's no joy in dating a dull man.
That's the thing. You've got to be dull and then exciting in different times. You have time to be dull as well as time to be exciting.
Well, we all have our topics of dull, don't we? We all have our topics, so we can be a bit boring.
But I've got to say the best.
Mine's news. I do it all the time.
Funnily enough, mine is chocolate. I've worked for many a chocolate company. I make chocolate in my own kitchen. I'm absolutely obsessed with chocolate. You make
chocolate?
Oh, easy peasy.
I've just grabbed hold of him and I'm like...
Martin, do you have an Rover?
Mm-hmm.
They're very expensive, an Enrover machine, to do it properly. So I don't have one of those.
All our resources together. This is. You talk about field trips, so I think we need Cadbury's World in Birmingham.
Yes. When I was younger as well, we lived near the Mars factory.
The chocolate brands are available.
Where the Mars factory where this Mars bar was made. And every year, everybody went on this trip to the Mars, and it was this huge thing. And my year was the year they stopped doing it. It honestly breaks my heart. And everyone used to come back with all these bars of chocolate. And I remember being so jealous when my sister came home, and she had all this chocolate. And my mum said, next year you can go. And it just never happened. Isn't that the saddest thing?
Okay. Martin, I now need to know, what do you call your chocolate bars that you make?
I have it would if it was to ever make money, I'd have a company called Something Marvellous, because chocolate is something marvellous in my opinion.
Something marvellous.
I think about it all the time.
But I mean, I've obviously already got. My name is a chocolate bar, so it's going to.
I was thinking, what's a Susan?
What's a Susan? I've never been to shop and seen a Susan bar. No, but
Heather.
But I've been. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show before, but I'm told. I've never tried it, but I'm told if I go to the Kitcatt factory in York, I can get free Kit Kats. But I've always I don't know how many. And you prove your name's Kitcatt, you can get free Kit Kat. And I don't know how many I would get to make that joke. Because if I'd only get two, not worth me going. If I'd get an entire box, like massive, that's worth doing.
I
So
think
if
it's when
anybody
you're
works,
in the
just let
north
me know.
anyway. There's a little pit stop maybe. It does sound good. To be honest, also even today, I relate to this story so hard. Today, I don't know what's going on in the Mars factory. I had some Maltesers at home, and I bit into one, and actually I wasn't upset by it. It was an event as rare as Halley's Comet. I had an entire Malteser of just chocolate. There was no.
Oh, that's the dream.
Yeah. If it was a whole bag, I'd probably be devastated. But the fact it was just one, I honestly, it was the best moment of my. I want to say life, but that seems a bit sad.
Was that this week?
Yeah, it was today.
How
today.
did you not mention that at the start when I expect the interesting happen?
I was building.
Again,
Oh, you were saving that. Oh,
I was just savouring it as I enjoy my Maltesers. I was savouring that little nugget of it was really, really good. I mean, the people in this group chat, or this Facebook group.
The Dull Men's Facebook group enlists another member.
But they were raging. They were saying how hideous the Mars bar looked. But you know what?
doesn't have the ripples at the top they normally do. Get over it.
Okay, I want to point out here, as a blind person who occasionally interacts with a box of celebrations. Feel is all I've got. It's hard enough to tell the difference between them by touch if they're going to start making them feel different to each other.
Well,
to the way that they should be feeling.
Rest assured, this was only an accident. It was just a Mars bar that happened to not get blown on. So once they finish the enrobing, they get a little spurt of air, hopefully not a person, just blowing on all of the Mars bars. A little spurt of air, and that's what creates.
You would love that job, right?
I'd die. Yeah.
Well, you'd be eating them. But yeah, Mars. Oh yeah, I know. My mind.
There is someone whose job it is to, in theory, to stand there and sort of watch all the enroved things coming through, and they've got to sort of take the ones that haven't been blown properly and put them aside. They're presumably to go into sort of various chocolate-based sort of other things that are made out of mixed-up Mars bars, but this one clearly slipped through the process. What a job that would be, though, to be the person who's pulling off all the seconds, all the broken bits, the bits that haven't quite worked out as proper, beautiful, fully formed Mars bars.
Do you know what?
And you're just like, okay, one for the pile, one for me.
Do you know? I honestly, I've got to say, one of my earlier jobs was I worked in a packing factory, and the two things that we did were alcohol and chocolates. You know, like those packages you get at Christmas time, where it's like a bottle and it's a nice glass, or it's like a chocolate bar and a thing. We were doing those, and the amount of times that on a Friday someone would say, "It's really weird. This box has all come through, and all of the little bottles of whiskey have been broken." And then we would just stand there, go, "Oh, they're broken. We got this." Or just, it's just. Yeah,
as I said, I've worked in several chocolate shops, and I will say the chocolate shop I preferred, you didn't have to make up little fibs. They were like, yeah, sample that, have a bit of that. It was so nice.
Apparently, Cadbury, even from when they started, their policy was you can eat as much chocolate as you want. And actually, the theory being...
you can't eat much.
No, the theory being, it was actually kind of one of these things of, if you told people, no, you mustn't, if you'll get sacked if you eat chocolate, it's almost like it's even more tempting. Because if you say, eat all the chocolate you want, after they've had it, it's like, yeah, you know what, you don't want to look at chocolate anymore. So it's like you've had enough.
I worked at a donut shop as well. I've had many a job, donut place in a theme park, and there they were very, very strict on you mustn't eat anything. And their whole idea was because people from different departments couldn't have access to it, so it wasn't very fair. And I never broke it, ever. But there were people who I worked with who were just like, "Are you joking?" And they would make themselves a bit sick on donuts.
Do you know
never get high on your own supply.
Before we move on from the story, there's two things I want to bring. One is that my favourite story about, apparently there was someone, I don't know her name, but she was quite prolific at writing to companies and getting money back for things because they were just slightly, something very slight, and she'd write a letter of complaint, and she was known by a lot of companies. Apparently she'd done it 2 times for different things at Kellogg's, and the last one she did, she said, "Oh, look, I was horrified. I got this cornflake, and look, it's burned. It's got this." So instead of sending her a token for a free box of cornflakes or giving her any money, they sent her a cornflake back in the post.
Yep.
Very impressive.
Excellent. Yes, this is the news that Harry Seeger, a member of the Dull Men's Club Facebook group, posted a picture of his completely smooth Mars bar, not a euphemism, and he got thousands of comments, thousands of likes, and ended up getting £2 as a token from Mars in apology, although they refused to tell him what actually went wrong with the process. Many people on the Dull Men's Facebook group apparently used to work for Mars and could told him what the process was and where the problem probably happened. Martin, yes, I think it is. No, it's Susan next. It is Susan. Okay, in that case, Susan, we'll quickly go through who's dying for a tandem bike.
Oh well, this is a story that it's a funeral firm have actually they're trying to track down a hearse to give someone his last request. In his will, he wrote that he wanted to be taken his coffin to be taken in a tandem sort of bicycle hearse, which I think is lovely actually, because he sort of said he wanted one last ride with his friends, which I love. But part of me is thinking, did he do this because he was like, because they're going with me? Because I've got to say, the design of these things do not look freaking that safe. You know, it's like,
it did sound like it said he wanted to take he wanted to go with on his final journey, taking 4 of his friends with him. It was something like the line in the actual article, and I was like, I think that might be a bad idea. They basically, he actually spoke to the funeral company who organises these sorts of things, because he had a terminal condition, and planned his funeral. And they said at the time that they had one of these things, they knew where they could get them, and then when it came to the actual sort of time to contact the bike and hire it, they were told, sorry, it's out of commission. They're now desperately trying to find it.
Well, and also that's the thing. It's saying they're saying the last tangent hearse they had, so someone else has wanted this, obviously, is in for repairs. So yeah, probably because that one also got involved in some terrible accident. It's like, this is a great way for them to keep business, obviously, because they're killing people off on the tangents that are taking the coffee. And then it's like,
the funny thing is, it was actually one of the tandem riders last time.
Exactly. So it's like, right, so we've got one casualty is that's for sure. The other 4, how are they going? Have we got their funerals? Are they going with us as well?
They explain there's actually different ways to do it as well, so there must be more than one out there. I didn't like it. It must be more popular than we think.
Yeah, because you can have it with sort of just one tandem bike where they go alongside, like a sort of sidecar.
So like a little triangle where one of you's lying down, presumably dead, and the other
probably
two
better if the dead person is taking that job. If the person in the coffin is the person lying down.
Or there's one where it's 2 people on either side, which I'm imagining a bit like a horse-drawn carriage, but also with 2 horses behind, and instead of horses it's bike. Sorry.
Do you know what?
This is sounding just a little bit too much like a Flintstone hearse.
Yeah, or like I was thinking, like when you said about having like little sidecars, thinking like Wallace and Gromit, which is just too sad to think about them ever not being with us. But I was also thinking, I wonder if the funeral directors have made the joke of daisies, pushing up daisies, give us your answer do, we're half
crazy over the love of you.
But you'll look dead upon the seat on a bicycle made for 2.
Just so you know, if anyone does have a line on the tandem hearse, the funeral director of a natural undertaking, they are the funeral organisers, funeral directors who are doing this. They have asked the public to help them find any leads on a tandem hearse. They're based in Birmingham, so if you've got any leads on that, please do get in touch with them. They've done a whole load of these things, though. They've done quite a few. They specialise in these slightly specialist funerals. They've done fancy dress funerals. They've also done biker-themed funerals, and they've even done one where the deceased was dressed as a clown. And I just want to say now, that is definitely a Stephen King movie.
That's quite horrifying, isn't it? Because also, presumably, if that
clown-shaped zombie doesn't come after you in your dreams, then it will do in real life.
But also, it's like, I mean, I don't know to be dressed as. Obviously, I've heard of open funerals, but not weddings.
Open casket, wedding.
That's a very specialist funeral. You can ask for a natural.
Yeah, Frankenstein's bride.
Yeah. But I just think, presumably, for people to see you, I don't know. I just think sometimes the dead should be neither seen nor heard. In an ideal,
I think unless you're at a séance or like some sort of medium situation, I think generally it's probably better if they're not, because it's
Yeah. But I mean, it is interesting because it makes you think. What kind of wacky thing would you want at your funeral?
Catapult.
Oh well, that's brilliant. Actually, into the sea or into a building.
No, I think like over the what's it called? O2 Arena, and into the Thames.
Wow, that's very specific.
Oh, do you know a James Bond film? Which one was it? The World Is Not Enough, maybe? Tomorrow Never. Oh, it was a Pierce Brosnan one.
Tomorrow Is Not Enough.
So it was one of those. Pierce Brosnan as Bond is on the O2, what was the Millennium Dome. He sort of landed on like a parachute or something, and he's sort of skydiving down it. So it's a very, very exciting scene.
obviously very inspiring to you, Richard, with your catapult.
And I want to be dressed as Bond.
I'm going to say now, I have never considered that question before. I've never answered that question before. That was just my immediate gut reaction on being asked that question.
That's fair.
I don't know where it came from. I really don't. That was just a gut reaction.
My only stipulation for my own funeral is that Beyonce sing. So I will not die until she agrees. So will I live forever? Perhaps. Also, it guarantees my only other thing is that I go before her, which is all I ask of the universe and fate, whatever.
And
does that mean that if she dies before you, then you get to live forever?
I suppose so, but I mean, I wouldn't want it though, would you?
She could sing "Who Left the World." I don't know quite.
Who left the world? Girls do. I feel like that might have the wrong message.
Well, I don't know. With Trump in power, quite a lot of us might want to.
But imagine being cursed to roam the earth with no new Beyonce music. I mean, that honestly a fate worse than anything I can imagine.
Than listening to more Beyonce music. This is.
I disagree. Where's that catapult?
This is the news that a funeral director is searching high and low across the UK for a tandem bike hearse after she promised I want to say patient, but a customer, that she would be able to organise a tandem bike ride with his friends as he went to his grave. But as she then got around to contacting the person who had the tandem bike hearse, she then found it was in for repairs and not available. So she's desperately looking for one. If you do know where to find one, please get in touch with a natural undertaking.
How long does it take to fix a bike like that? Do you think it's maybe worth postponing?
Postponing? Like what? With
the funeral? Postponing the funeral until, or his final ride. Maybe just moving things around. So, you use a car hearse, and then after the funeral, maybe a couple of weeks or something, they just go for a nice final ride. I don't know.
Maybe. Let's move on. Let's go to... hang on, is that the one I was going to go? Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, Susan. That was Susan. This is Martin, that's good, I got the right way around. Martin, which award ceremony could guarantee the speeches would all be under a minute?
Very good question. So actually it was the TikTok Awards, for obvious reasons. They were held in London this week. It was just from all of Britain and Ireland, I think it was.
Is it not the world? It was just the British and Irish.
UK winners of the UK and Ireland first TikTok Awards. Okay. Yes, so that's right. It was held in London, and they had lots of different categories. So it was quite a big event. So there was just a list of Creator of the Year, Entertainment, Food, Sport. Because there are all these different topics happening on TikTok. They've also got a Breakthrough Artist of the Year and Rising Star Creator, Education, Travel.
Do you know who won the high quality content?
High quality content of the year was Miles Laughlin.
Yes. Do you know what his other name is?
I'd love to know what his other name is.
The Pool Guy.
Oh yes, of course, because he does all those videos where he cleans pools.
This is high quality content. He cleans pools and videos that at a minute at a time.
It is exceptionally calming to watch something become clean.
I've got to say, this is just where kids today are really not. They think they're so cool, but they're really not. Because if you went into a school in like the 2000s or the 90s or whatever, and you were like, I was up late watching this, people would be like, oh, what was it like? It's like a horror film. Is it like an 18? Did you see sex? And they'd be going, no, I was watching pools being cleaned.
Yeah, people
and it's just like
you're out of a pool and then sprayed it clean and then filled it with
I was
water.
Watching cakes being decorated. It's like, you're not kids, you're not cool.
No, it's worse. It's worse than watching cakes being decorated. The winner of the Food Creator of the Year was someone who films herself.
Oh, is this a butterball?
No,
is this,
no,
that's quite sad
Pickles
as well.
Cucumber.
Oh God!
Pickles Cucumber on camera.
Wasn't it the food?
Alfred Hitchcock. This is where your industry has led us to. It's sad for humanity. It's just. Ugh.
Wasn't it something to do with food that she made when she was unemployed? Which I think does inspire people. People are interested. I don't know. I think it's very easy to be very to roll your eyes at this because it's ridiculous. But also, these people they're doing a job, and there is as
someone who's currently trying to enter the content creation industry and sort of taking my first steps in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I can definitely have some respect. At the same time,
but it's what people are creating. It's you're doing
why I can't get famous really quickly if that's all.
Oh, this is like when as an artist, it's like sometimes I absolutely bow my head and I'm almost like in show. I'm like, wow, your art is at a level that I could never reach. And then someone wins like something like the banana with a bit of duct tape. You're like, no, my artwork is fine. I put way too much effort into it.
I think there is something. TikTok is for everything. There's an Educator of the Year award. There's a man who
There
makes.
definitely are some good stuff. There's some clearly good stuff on it. I also point out though the pool guy. He said that he had to thank people who had sloshy pools. Basically, he meant people with dirty pools. He says sloshy. I'm pretty sure most pools are pretty sloshy.
In fairness, it was an award ceremony. It's possible they were all quite sloshy at that point. Quite possible. Hence for the misquote or when the saying. I just think it's I don't know. It's it kind of contributes to that thing. What is the word of the
word of the year?
Yeah, it's brain rot.
So I can. It's just that idea of being a bit too online and of being a bit, it's taken away.
Watching videos of someone reacting to things being crushed.
Actually, that was probably one of my favourite content creators. I'm gutted she didn't win. I think her name is like AME or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And actually watching her videos, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Sometimes I watch her reacting to things being crushed, and she says, "Oh, I don't like that." And I think, well, I loved it. And then I think, why are we disagreeing? It's just a video of things being crushed, but it's so interesting.
That is it.
Okay.
But also, I think there's a darker. This is because the people that I do know on Facebook that share TikTok and all this, there's sort of people that will believe anything that's seen on TikTok, and sometimes I'm like, no, this is spreading misinformation. It's lies. This is where 1984 starts.
And on that really cheerful note, we are coming to the end of the show. I've just had one quick question to ask you. Have you got any gigs coming up, either of you? Susan, any gigs?
No.
Okay. Martin, any gigs coming up?
No, I mean, I've got one next week, but
Next week? Well, mention it then.
I think it's Nottingham. It looks really fun, but I can't remember the details. That's terrible. Otherwise, I'm winding down for Christmas and doing a much earned rest, I
Winding
think.
down for Christmas.
Trying to learn to be funny again.
Learn to be funny again. That's the plan for all of us.
That's I've
been working on that one for years.
Yeah.
In that case, folks, it is time for us to go. We will be back after Christmas. This is the end of the series, so we'll be back after Christmas. Have a wonderful Christmas, and we will see you on the other side. Keep listening to Riverside Radio. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Happy Christmas.